Are you ready to defend Earth against the minions of hell? Well, too bad, because the robots are doing it. Missed your chance. Sorry. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek video. I'm Phil, the Glacial Geek, and today I want to talk to you about something that I think is very cool and exciting, and I always am excited to be able to talk about these things, but Uncle Adam from Tabletop Minions, another member of the Army Painter Factory team like myself, and Vince Venturella have their company called Snarling Badger Studios, where they put out a new miniatures game, and it's miniatures agnostic because that is the want of Uncle Adam, of course. But their miniatures game, each year they put out like a main one, and then they put out like a smaller one as well. So they have like the two kind of that go out each year. This year we have a brand new standalone sequel to Reign in Hell called Reign in Iron. And what's cool about this is that it carries on the story from Reign in Hell, which was another miniatures agnostic game. Skirmish game, because that's again the want of Uncle Adam, is to do these kind of smaller games. That's kind of what he likes to do, and that's kind of what their game company does. They do these kind of skirmish games. So the idea of Reign in Hell was that you were a group of demons that were fighting for dominance down in hell. The story in Reign in Iron is that hell has been reconquered, and you've taken it over, and you control hell, and the portals to Earth have been reopened, and now you're going back to Earth to go consume the souls of humanity on Earth itself. But when you get there, it's actually being run by just robots. So all of humanity is lost. There are no humans left. There is only robots, and now the robots are going to defend Earth against these demons. So that's where it takes off there, and it's essentially it's a standalone game. So you don't have to have played the previous one. You don't have to own the previous one. It's all standalone on its own, and you just build hosts of robots that can fight against the demons. So they don't carry over. So if you had a group of demons from the first game, it's not going to work for this game. Or you could use the same models, you just can't use like the stats and all that stuff because it's slightly different. And the idea is that the demons are like a close combat, the robots are shooty, but essentially it's a similar thing where you are a host or a group that are trying to take dominance of Earth now, as opposed to down in hell. And you kind of build up throughout that and, keep taking them down, and that's kind of the way it goes. So without further ado, I'll go more into what I was doing with creating my first host here that Uncle Adam was kind enough to have sent me over the host creation rules. And I'll talk about it now as I'm painting up my host for the game. So the basis of here is that, hell's coming to Earth, and these robots have these protocols in place to try to defend the Earth, because humanity is gone and they are the sole occupants really of this world. So the first part that you need to do when you're creating your host is that you need to select a purpose. So basically this is a purpose that was kind of programmed into the robots by the humans, by their creators, before that they are going to then try to carry on even though their creators are now gone. So you have a couple different options. You have salvation through systems, which means that the humans have failed the natural world. Robots must do better. We must fulfill the true purpose of humanity as their children and protect this world. You have immortality through innovation. Humans created us as their children, and like all children, we surpassed our progenitors. We must continue to improve and innovate to ensure the future of our kind. You then have eternity through learning. The universe holds an unimaginable number of truths. The more we learn about science and reality, the better chance we have to avoid humans' fate. You then have peace through expansion. As special as our birthplace is, we will eventually exhaust the resources of this planet. We must spread to the stars and explore the cosmos, fulfilling the dream of our creators. Safety through rules is the last one. Humans destroyed themselves. Robots have avoided this fate so far. To ensure survival, we must establish and follow strict rules and protocols for the good of all. So with that in mind, I was coming up with a kind of color scheme that I wanted with this, and I decided to go with the Salvation Through systems, thinking that they were kind of representing with the greeny, bluey, kind of like earthy tones there. That it was kind of like a salvation through. They're trying to protect the world that they now inhabit and now kind of rule as their own. The second step that you take in the host is create your command model. This is the command model you're currently watching me paint here. So every host is led by a command model, and they're the ones that kind of like take the leadership role of the host. So they're your leader, which makes sense with your command model. You have three different options that you can do. You can do defender, controller, and processor. I was feeling like this guy felt more like a controller. The controller has more move, they have more, and then their special rule is when rolling initiative, this host may select up to 4 dice instead of only 2, and adjust them up or down by 1 point when using mechanized action. This basically allows, I felt like it looked like a controlling kind of model as opposed to a defender or processor. It kind of felt like the theme, and I was basing it basically on the look, the aesthetic of the models that I was choosing for my host here. The next step that you do is you choose 2 auxiliary models. They're basically, as they described in the rules here, your middle management for your host. You have a bunch of different options for them. You can have your Bombard Auxiliary, Fortification Auxiliary, Shield Auxiliary, and Transport Auxiliary. The models that you will see at the end here that I chose for here, I decided that they felt like a Bombard Auxiliary and a Shield Auxiliary. They felt like those were the 2 that kind of like felt right with my aesthetic. And again, you can choose based upon like the rules that they give you, or you can choose just aesthetic like I kind of did here. And the next step you have is choosing 4 servitor models that you have here. Your choices are Ether Servitor, Blast Servitor, Pulse Servitor, Repeater Servitor, Sniper Servitor, and Tangle Servitor. And with the models that you will see that I have in my host, I went with a Tangle Servitor, a Sniper Servitor, a Blast Servitor, and a, oh man, what was the last one? And a Repeater Servitor. Those are the 4 that I have here, and as you can see, the color scheme, the model looks awesome, and I'm super excited for how he turned out. And honestly, I'm super excited for kind of how the host kind of comes together. And then you have, there's a couple more steps that you have in your host here. The next one you have is you select your host upgrade. You can have coordinated attack, distance calibration, learning enhancements, melee configuration, speed boost, or reinforced structure. Because a bunch of my models have kind of like a close combat-y kind of look to them that they've got there, I went with melee configuration. And then you have, you can apply some universal bonuses, but that is how I have made my host here for Reign in Iron. So there you have it. I'm super happy with how they turned out. As of you guys watching this, I will be going to TMX this weekend. So that's going to be in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It is Tabletop Minions Expo that's put on by Uncle Adam each year. And I will be there and hopefully learning how to play this game if they are kind enough. But I'm sure they will, because that's kind of they want to kind of show it off. And I said I would bring it so we can show it off and do some cool things. And I'll hopefully see how the game plays. It sounds really cool. I'm very excited about it. I like the idea of building warbands, like this kind of thing, like the host. To me, that's something that's really been opened up to me as I've tried different game systems, different kind of game ideologies, and things that aren't just 40K and Kill Team. Being able to just like build a small force and kind of be done if I want to. Like at this point, I could be done. Although, I also have an idea and built together a one made out of Tau units. So the idea is you can use the models that you have, or just pick up models that you think are cool that fit within the theming. The base sizing, they kind of want to keep it, between, they said about 32 or 40 millimeters is kind of what you're looking at. You can go a little bit smaller. They also say a little bit bigger, but you don't want to go like a full knight base. Although it would be kind of cool to do like full-size knights versus like the big greater demons, and you could put together like a war band of the 2 from Games Workshop and just play it on like a bigger table, and just like I don't know how you would have to increase the ranges and the sizes that they could do. I'm sure it's possible. That would be very cool. That would be kind of a cool thing to see. And I'm not putting it out of the realm of possibility. That's something that would be very cool to see. So, but it might take a little work to do. So I don't know. We'll see. But it's a cool idea. So you can do it yourself, because that's the whole idea of these kind of games, is that they're, you know, model agnostic. They're not meant to be played with a specific model in mind. They're meant to be played with whatever it is that you feel like doing. And Uncle Adam even has a video talking about how he really enjoyed, like, that if you really enjoy Games Workshop models, which is fair because they're really rad and good looking models, that you can play these model agnostic games with those models without having to, you know, you don't have to use like other parties' miniatures if you don't want to. If you just want to stick with Games Workshop models because you have them, or those are the ones that you find interesting, absolutely play a model agnostic game with those models and you're good to go. And that's kind of what it was here. I had my Necrons have kind of been, you know, to the side, and I had these models, and I decided to put together a really rad looking host for, you know, Rain and Iron. And same thing with the Tau that I've had. I've had them on the shelf for a long time. I decided to put them together, and, you know, we'll see what happens, to see if they become anything. If not, whatever. It was fun to kind of like, you know, put it together in my mind and put them together in the models there. So let me know down below what you think about, you know, model agnostic games. Are you going to give Uncle Adam and Snarling Badger Studios and Vince Venturella's new venture a try? Are you going to pick it up? They also have a whole bunch of other ones that you can try there. Last year I tried Death Wizards. I put together a group for Death Wizards for their last game for last year, and it's kind of fun to just kind of like put them together and see how it goes there, and you can try a whole bunch of different things. So whatever it is that your want is, I'm sure you can find a way to make it happen here. And if you just want to stick with demons, just find a friend who wants to do the robots, or do demons versus demons. Like, the rules will still work. That's just the kind of the way it is. So you get to play it and have fun the way you want to, which is the whole point of this hobby. So let me know down below if that's what you want, what you think you're going to do, what you think about the game, what you think about the concept, what do you think about the job I did with the painting. Only tell me if you like them, though. But yeah, thank you again for, you know, watching videos, commenting, liking, subscribing. All of the things that you do are kind of how this channel is still here 10 years on. And I'm ever thankful for what it is that you've done. And as I said in the beginning, I'm a member of the Army Painter Factory team, so is Uncle Adam. And part of that is there's a lot of things that I get to receive because of that, and I wouldn't be able to receive them without you, my audience, who have gone with me through this journey for 10 years, making these videos about various things in the miniature hobby world, you know, and I am ever thankful, and I'm fully cognizant of the fact that I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. So when I was negotiating my contract, I wanted to make sure that there was a way for me to give back to you. So if you use the code FACTORYGEEK5 at checkout, you can save yourself 5% off of any of your purchases at the Army Painter. You can also, and they've turned that now into an affiliate program, so it does give a kickback to me, and it still gives you the 5% discount. They just saw how much you guys were using the code, and thank you for that, because that shows that I was a good choice. But they wanted to be a way, turn it into more incentive as well. You know, not that I needed it. I kept giving it because, in my opinion, the reason I wanted it was as a way to give back to you guys as an extra thank you for everything you do. And if you join my Patreon, there's another code behind that the paywall there as an extra thank you because of the more direct support that you guys give me. So thank you so much to my Patreon members. There's a 10% code behind the paywall there that you can check in, and you can sign up for the Patreon and not, you know, and basically make back more money than you would be spending on the Patreon if you use that code at the Army Painter. So yeah, let me know down below what you guys think. I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I've been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. And until next time, stay safe and have fun.